Okay, everybody. I don't have a fancy opener or anything. I don't even have mods yet. And that's not because cool people haven't offered. It's just I just haven't gotten my shit together for it. But can you hear me? Will you let me know in the comments? Hello everybody, if you can hear me okay and how's the sound and all of that. I hate that there is that lag. That's one of the things that I don't like about StreamYard, or maybe it's just any live streaming, but there is that lag when something happens, you ask a question. So can you hear me okay? Can you Sounds great. Okay, good. Yeah, it comes in. All right, so I was gonna do some pre-gaming with Celtic, but he has been delayed, I think, or maybe having technical difficulties, or who knows, right? But anyway, he will be on soon, and I will just have him on. So I just moved in here. Some of you, especially if you're patrons on Patreon, you've heard about how I've been in the middle of, it seems like a never-ending move. And it's partly because I spent the holidays and several weeks at my mom's, who lives several hours away, and then finally got here, like in the last in the last week. And so anyway, I don't have like a great studio set up, but I thought this was okay. Some of you will remember this from my last live stream. So anyway, I am gonna do the best that I can without a mod. I'm gonna get a mod for the next time. I just wanted to do this. This is sort of spur of the moment. There's some stuff that's happened this week, and also some stuff that happened today. And so I wanted to do a live stream, and I thought that Friday night would be something maybe a little bit, a little bit different, a little bit looser. Although I hope that I hope I don't get into any trouble on this, or that Celtic Iron does not get into any trouble on this. All right. So, but anyway, and I just have to say, probably not my best look, but I try not to scrutinize my looks too much, especially when I'm doing these live streams. But like, it really is just from a sort of like a body sort of dysmorphic, perspective, right? Like it's interesting how like I hate I've always had this like bumpy nose, right? And it's not something that I hate, right? But I don't love it. And so like certain light like this, like it's just really bothering me, right? Like there's I can see the bump, but I'm just going to resist it, and I'm just going to continue, right? Because I know that you don't care. I'm not going to adjust my light or try to figure it out at this moment. Though for next time, I will be sure that the bump is not visible. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to just say a few words. Celtic is still not here, but when he gets here, I'll put him on as soon as he does. I want to say a few things about, I don't know, I feel like the last almost 2 months, and I talked about this on the last live stream, and I've talked about it a bit on Patreon, but the last 2 months have been really, really, well, I mean, all things considered, it's not horrible. Like I have my health, thank God, and I have great people in my life, right? So it's not been that bad. But the last 2 months have been challenging in terms of the YouTube stuff and also the Marilyn Manson case. I started off, some of you might be saying, well, what do you mean? You seem so positive, at the beginning of December. And I started off really positive because, and it's a long story and I'm not going to go into it again. Some of you have already heard it, but I thought I had these 3 huge interviews that were gonna happen. And two of them like for sure. And they didn't end up happening. And that's fine. But that was a huge letdown. And it had nothing to do with these people's feelings about Manson or anything like that, right? But that was a huge letdown. And then there's just been stuff, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's been depressing stuff in the Manson case. And I don't mean depressing like, oh, I think he's guilty or I've changed my mind. In fact, the fact that I so believe that he's innocent and I think that the evidence points to his innocence, it's actually in some ways kind of worse psychologically or emotionally because it's like torture to watch this person that I think is innocent of the things that he's accused of to like from afar, right? But just to see what he's going through or to imagine what he's going through, right? Um, and so, you know, that settlement with Esme Bianco, I talked about it with Andrea in a video, and I totally understand why he did that, and that may have been the right move and everything. But I know that sucks. It has to suck, right? To give money to know that this woman who has made up these horrible lies and has dragged you through the mud and everything and tried to ruin you is now getting a payoff. And some people are going to say, oh, there must have been something there. He paid her off, right? Even though, celebrities, even the most innocent, are constantly having to settle with people for frivolous lawsuits. Johnny Depp's in another lawsuit now, isn't he? I don't know hardly anything about that, but I saw that. Celtic is here. Okay, so Celtic, let me just finish one thing and then I'll bring you on. So anyway, that's rough. And then I think that, look, this lawsuit, we're going to talk about it. It is, and I'm sorry, I'm going to swear, it's Friday night. I mean, I swear anyway, but just to prepare you, right? It is this lawsuit, Bianca Elaine. Yeah, I'm just going to say who it is because Marilyn Manson uncanceled, he's already said who we think it is. And I don't have absolute ultimate knowledge, but yeah, I think a number of us think that it's pretty clear that it's Bianca Elaine. But this, this is my opinion. But yeah, this new lawsuit really sucks, and it doesn't suck because it's a legitimate lawsuit. In fact, I finally made myself read through it last night. I had not because I've just been tired and I've just been down. And if I'm tired, like I can't even imagine how it is for Marilyn Manson and his wife. So I'm not like trying to complain. I'm just explaining though. I've been tired. And so I finally made myself read the lawsuit and this most recent one. And I mean, I talked about today on Twitter about how it's like Pizzagate or something. Like they have these sort of delusional analyses of like squiggles of doodles on promotional materials for the band from the 90s. And anyway, it was just some crazy stuff. And then of course, the plaintiff is on record having done, a long podcast and interviews in the past, is on record saying things that very much conflict with what we find of her accusations in the lawsuit. So there's big contradictions between what is alleged specifically in the lawsuit that she's just filed and what she said in the past. And so these are things that we're not going to get to the bottom of them here on this program. Like I want to have like a more lighthearted program, right? But these are things that I'm going to address in a video very soon. And the reason why I haven't done anything so far is like I just wanted to get my mind sort of wrapped around this and be in a state where I felt like I could actually do a good job, and I've just been tired, and I was like, damn, another lawsuit. It really is like Book of Job shit. And not to be sacrilegious or anything, because that's I think it's a really deep story, right? But it really is like Book of Job shit that he's going through. And I know that he still has it better. Manson, still has it better than a lot of people in the world, but damn, it's been a rough 2 years. So anyway, that's another thing, anniversary. So Celtic Iron, I'm bringing you on. Let me just say here, and I can't believe I'm going to say this in front of people because people are going to be like, oh, damn, she's being too rude. But like, how nervous I am about live streams, right? So let's just make sure that we keep in mind that like people like the district attorney and other people like that might be watching us, LADA. And so we would not want to say anything to piss anyone off. So I wanted to make that really clear. Okay. Is that all you have to say?
I mean, I come from a place where people communicate most commonly by howls and hand gestures. All right. The fact that I was in the room with all those people today, it should be one of the highlights of their entire career. I mean, that's just the short and skinny of it. It was. I graced them with my presence at the Ritz. I can't remember. We were in both of them, the Ritz Carlton and the JP Marriott. One of the two had the press conference in it.
In LA today.
In LA, in Los Angeles today, yes. We went from the 101 Cafe, all right, across the street from the hotel where George Harrison used to stay when he was recording at Capitol Records. We drove all the way down there to downtown Los Angeles. Took us 45 minutes. And then
you and the lovely Paula, who has done a couple of interviews on my show. But anyway. Not dating, just friends. I don't want to start any rumors.
I hear, well, let's not, you know what I mean? Like, hey, come on, Jesus. Not that I have not been trying. Okay, God bless her. I mean, to be honest, like we should be saying thanks to Paula. I mean, she did a service today. She endured me for an afternoon. Okay,
I think that's true.
I mean, the two of us got our manis and petties done. Like she just got off, God bless her. She got off work on the Paramount set today. It was a nice early day. She was finished up by 12:30, okay, noon. And then we were talking to each other on the phone. She's like, I just left the Paramount lot. And I said, I just passed it on the way to get me nails done. Do you want to come up here and we'll have a chat about this thing that's going on downtown? And then we figured out what the thing was. And so we had, let's go on down there. We had a few hours off. 2 to be exact. And so we went, grabbed some food, and headed on down there. It was brilliant. We even got good parking. We didn't have to pay for parking in downtown Los Angeles. In this economy, it's the details that matter, people.
So, okay, so several things. That sounds like I would certainly agree with you that she probably did have to put up with a lot. I think we'll agree there. No, but I was gonna
Oh, I
ask.
thought by the time I walked in there, she was going to be standing up going, I'm being sexually assaulted right now, okay? Never mind what you whores are talking about. This motherfucker here, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that went over really well. So I just wanted to recognize AJ, and God, I still need to call you AJ. He's one of my patrons, and I was supposed to talk to him this week. So you
Hell
shouldn't
yeah,
even be
AJ.
tipping me. Now you're just making me feel bad, AJ. No, thank you for the tip. We're gonna split them for tonight. And yeah,
Oh, I'm
you don't
getting
have a
paid?
yeah, you're gonna get something. AJ, you
Real
don't have a
something.
comment just towards your swear jar? Okay, that sounds good. Now, let me explain seriously what we're talking about with Celtic Iron. And basically, today, the attorney who is suing Marilyn Manson, the attorney who's representing the new claimant that I
We
was
have
just
his
talking
name. Let's
about.
say his name. Do you want me to pull
Yeah,
up my
was it?
phone? I have pictures.
Yeah, is it Anderson? Is that his name?
Anderson and Associates. Anderson and Associates. Let's see. Jeff Anderson. He was the fellow that was speaking. I complimented him on his nice suit, and he said, "Thanks, man." But yeah, he was the one heading up the whole thing and very soft. Like it was tough. They didn't have a microphone. They weren't. They rented the room, but they weren't
Mhm.
putting down the coin to get the microphone. You know.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
there was a news reporters in the front row and stuff, and then there was this fella Jeff Anderson speaking, and then there was Karen Barth Menzines, right?
Yeah,
Now
she's one of the
she was
attorneys.
she's another attorney. Oh, she was. I thought. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So
I
she
think.
spoke, but then there was a Melissa Schumann. Okay, you're right. You're the other girl, Menzine. She was an attorney. Then Melissa Schumann spoke. She was talking about something that had nothing to do with Marilyn Manson. All right.
So yeah, so I
Uh,
just want to say there were a number of cases that they talked about. And so basically what's going on is that this attorney and other attorneys working with him, they are taking advantage of some new laws in New York and California. So in this case, in New York, that is basically negating the statute of limitations on some stuff. And I'm not going to go into more detail, but you can look it up. And so it's allowing for a number of like look back lawsuits, some
They're
decades.
going after Steven Tyler from
Steven Tyler.
Aerosmith for shit that happened in the 70s, dude.
Yeah, and that case, well, I don't even want to go there because that's a
And they
whole other
talk
can of
when they were
worms
talking about it,
on
when they were
that.
talking about sorry to talk over you, but when they were talking, I'm getting excited about it now. Paula
That's
made me
fine, but
have
I don't want to
coffee.
talk about the Steven Tyler case
No, no,
because
we're
that's
not
a
talking
whole
about
other.
Steven Tyler, okay? But when they were talking about Marilyn Manson and the Steven Tyler thing, they were talking about it in tones of these guys are already guilty. This is
Oh
proven
yeah.
shit, and we're just going to collect the money, and we're not stopping until we get the money. We're going to bring justice to these women by getting them some money. And I was just like, this he's a predator. He's talking about predators. It's because he can recognize them. A shark knows a shark. The guy was unrelenting. He's very old as well, so I don't know how long he'll last in the fight. But Jesus Christ, he looked pretty strong and healthy to me.
Well, he seemed, yeah, I mean, he was passionate. I'll give him that. But at the same time, he seemed to be really stumbling around over, well,
It
at
was
least
well
the
rehearsed,
Manson
but not well.
presentation. Well, I
Yeah.
wanted to show actually people, let me see if I can share it because I wanted to show people. I just put it on Twitter. It's on my Twitter. Hold a second. I'm still getting used to the StreamYard stuff. And let me just say, since we're not using a mod tonight, if you super chat and I don't see it, like keep calling attention to my attention to it until I see it. Cause I did that to eHacker the other day. He left me such a nice, I mean, I think it was like $100 super chat and I didn't see it. And then I felt bad because he was like making light of it or making fun of it on Twitter the next day, which
Yeah.
was totally fine, like in a fun way. But anyway, okay. Oh, I can see one coming up here. Tristan, nice conversation that we had the other night. Says, "Hello, darling. I love you." And Celtic, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. All right. Yeah, don't tell him that. He doesn't need to hear that. Okay.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. My ego knows no bounds. I need to hear all the compliments. It's my oxygen. I'd take all the compliments and more. Thank you.
Okay. So I've got the. Here we go. Let me see if I can just share my screen. Yeah, I am awkward about this stuff. Sorry. Trying to. Okay. Is it
Will I
present?
sing while you're
Yeah.
looking for super chats and answering them? Will I sing until you're ready? Hang on, get me a
Oh my
guitar, quick,
God.
quick.
See.
Yeah, no, it was
Here
a
we go.
fun day out though. We're looking for justice, and there were people there to do with Marilyn Manson. When we were finished at the meeting, we were
Wait, hold
crossing
on.
the
Let's just
street.
go.
Okay.
Sorry, let's go ahead
Oh,
and
there
watch
it
this
is.
and
You
then
have it
tell
now.
me all
Yeah,
about it.
gotcha. Okay, let's
Yeah,
watch
okay.
it on the.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go. I hope it's not too loud, everybody. Brace yourselves, in case here.
The first complaint I'm going to.
Now, I'm just sorry, but I want to, if your attention was not already drawn to what is going on, what is going on the right here.
This woman here,
Um,
she's dressed up like she's going to the Grammys. She's about to walk down the red carpet or a fucking catwalk. But like, yeah, I don't know what I was like, is she accepting an award here? What's going on here? She got up and she told a horrific story. I was like, why did you wear that? Anyway, God bless her.
who
You
is
know, go
she?
with
Hey,
God.
who is she
She's a
accusing?
composer. All right, now look, she's clearly her cause was one of these things. Where it was like, hang on, bitch, you're clearly just doing this for a bit
Okay,
of a
let's just
Okay.
refrain from that. I know your show's a little saucier than mine, but if we keep the
Okay,
the
I
expert
allegedly I felt okay. They use the words about feelings a lot today. So I felt that she came off as a bit of a grifter. Okay, she's trying to
okay,
stand on the misfortune of other victims to
yeah.
propaganda her music. Okay, there was it was definitely there was one of the other girls was kind of like this, but it's definitely like, hang on a second. There's lots of other good things you could be doing instead of making this all about you. But it's also plugging their careers. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
there's yeah,
That
there's a bit
dress,
of that
dude,
going on.
that is not a dress that you wear. Like, I'll give her credit for one thing, okay? She's not doing the Puritan look that so many of these accusers do. Like, I was watching the Hugh Hefner, thing the other night, The Secrets of Playboy, and I'm going to talk about that some other time. But the way that they're dressed, like they're Puritans, like they're Quakers or something with the black and white and up to the neck. So she's not doing that. But that is an interesting outfit, yeah, and who was she accusing? Do you remember? Was she the one accusing Nick Carter? Because there were several people they were that
No, the blonde girl, I believe, the blonde one beside her was the one that was accusing Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys.
okay.
I believe, I can't remember the details of hers, but I remember she was a composer. She kept she made sure to know that everyone was aware that she was a composer, okay, and a classical
Mm,
pianist. So, and
hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It was weird.
that's
It was
not bad.
definitely weird. Let's watch okay, so let's watch it and see, and I just want
We were there for an
you all to
hour, okay?
notice how
And there was
yeah, and
no
he
catering. The fucked up thing, there was no bit donuts. I was saying to Paula, you're gonna have to control me when I get here. There's gonna be a bit of a spread, okay? There was no spread,
donut,
okay? These people,
donut.
man.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
I don't want to go into Palestine and Israel, but I'm just saying, everybody.
Okay, okay, let me play
Okay,
this. Here we go.
The first complaint I'm going to hold up that has been filed names on the plaintiff as Jane Doe, and it identifies the rapist to be
this
Brian
motherfucker.
Warner, also known as Marilyn Manson,
What a cunt.
who first
Can't say that.
began to rape her as a youth and then continued into her adult years.
He was pausing for dramatic impact.
And she was not the first and certainly not the only, as has been widely reported.
Widely reported.
And this suit names him and at least two of the industry defendants in it.
So I just want to point out, and this won't be a surprise to you because you worked in the music industry, right? Is that the big fish or the big fish they're going after in this lawsuit? It's not Marilyn
Dude,
Manson. It's
no.
Interscope, right? And
Yeah.
then Trent Reznor's Nothing Records. Those are the two main
Oh,
ones,
dude,
right?
they had. Did I send you the pictures? There's pictures of the graphs that they had. They gave us dossiers. All right, myself and Paula were sitting there reading dossiers. I sent you one of the lawsuits was 36 fucking pages long. Like, they spent money on printing all this stuff and putting these dossiers together. Now, get it? They have legal analysts who's literally an intern whose job it is to do all that fancy stuff. But I mean,
Mm.
still, A lot of paper. These people,
Yeah.
these liberal, lunatics, they're not saving Mother Earth by printing all this paper. They could have gone digital. That would have been impressive. But to be fair, this fella, it was not a vibe. They really they were really in the dossier was mostly the Marilyn Manson stuff. They weren't mentioning Steven Tyler's thing in the dossier. They weren't given the filings of the Steven Tyler thing. It was all filings on the Manson thing. So my conspiracy Irish big eagle perspective, godlike, if you will, perspective. My overview of all these underlings, frame. I see this as all these other girls and this lawyer. This lawyer is the biggest cunt out. Okay, so he's using all these.
Stop saying that. Stop saying that. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. That cannot come out of your mouth again.
I did not mean. I did not intentionally mean that. No disrespect. No disrespect.
I know you're Irish. I know it just comes out. It just comes out. I know.
If anything, it's a little insensitive of you and your audience to expect anything less than from me. It's
kind
a
of
term of
racist,
endearment where I'm from. It is a bit racialist of you.
Racist.
Just saying. Okay.
All
All right,
right,
you Trump loving
continue.
Texan you. Oh, we continue. So here we go. 2024, baby. This guy is a parasite, okay? Because he's living and leveraging his own name off these victims' alleged.
Oh,
case,
he's ridiculous.
okay?
He's like an ambulance chaser, but he's gonna chase everyone in the entertainment industry now because there's this window that's open.
Oh,
Like
yes.
like we've talked about this before,
Yes.
but the Romeo and Juliet lawsuit,
Oh no,
right?
This guy's at the dinner table with Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate. Like he's drinking the kid's blood with them, if not the one cut in the throats. This guy was a piece of work.
Allegedly.
Okay? Allegedly. No. Oh, yeah. No, but for this guy to get up there and talk the level of shit that he talked before and after these women got up there, 3 of the 5 broads broke out into tears. Okay? There were women in the audience in floods of tears.
Oh, wait. So when you were there, you're saying that when all of this was going on, that there were people in the audience crying?
People in the audience, the girls in front of us. There was 2 sets of 4, okay, and then 10 rows, okay. So they could have had a couple of people on either side, but yeah, there were people sitting in all the seats. Is the bottom line, and then there were people standing behind us. Okay, so you do the math there yourself. But they started. There was the funniest thing that freaked me out is when they were talking about cleansing Hollywood and cleansing the streets and all this. At the same time, the security guards were unlocking the doors, which just immediately to me sounded like they were being locked again. I was just like, what? They're talking about cleansing. What's going on here? The little Jewish heart in me started getting a bit nervous. I heard train tracks and fucking horns blowing. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse there either. Okay.
It's not the cursing. It's just the 2 words, like words that will get us then labeled as misogynist or whatever, even though that's not how they're intended. Plus, it's more editing I have to do.
All right. Well,
plus, it's more editing I have to do.
Okay, I don't mean to edit you.
Because it can't get monetized when you say stuff like that. So that's why too.
Well, that's. But we are live right now. Are we alive or not right now?
Yeah, but if I want to,
correct?
If I want to keep this on and if I want to use it, then it needs to be monetized. So there are reasons. But listen, here's the thing. I was kind of scared of this guy, this Anderson, this attorney, prior to today, because he's shaking things up in terms of these entertainment industry lawsuits. And I mentioned it earlier.
Shaking people down is what he's doing. He's shaking things up by shaking people down. All right.
But I mentioned it earlier, and they're suing. There are 2 actors from the late 60s or 70s Romeo and Juliet that are suing, 2 of the main actors, like Olivia Hussey and the other guy. And they are suing for what, 400 or 500 million? They're suing the studios for 400 to 500 million, saying that they were exploited in the nudity scenes in that film. Now, I don't know if the nudity scenes were conducted appropriately or they weren't or whatever, but we're talking decades later, and these people are on record talking about how much they loved doing the film and how they loved being nude, and it was so freeing and how it was so,
liberating and empowering. All these cool hype words. Yeah, well, that's fortunate. One of the girls, when they were as I was saying, people in the audience, okay?
Yeah,
the girls in front of us, out of the 4 girls in front of us, 3 of them were in tears, okay? And then 2 of those girls out of those 3 were patting the backs of the girls in front of them who were also in floods of tears, okay? Then as things were ending, like one girl's boyfriend came into the room and she got up and it was all dramatic and hugged him and all this stuff. And I was like, what TV show do these people think we're on right now? This isn't a vibe, bro. You know, there's no catering, and like there's all these chicks crying
No.
at these broads that are blatantly lying. Is this
Well,
America right now?
it sounds like Phoenix. It actually sounds like the scene in Phoenix Rising, and where they're all like all of the Mansons, fake victims like Evan and Esme and Ashley and the others are gathered together crying. And I'll tell you, I think I've mentioned this before on the live stream, but I had a conversation, and it's fine if he wants to share his side of it too. But I had a friendly conversation with Dan Cleary, a while back, and and this is not disclosing anything controversial or anything, but he seemed one of the things that seemed very convincing to him was the fact that he had been on the set of Phoenix Rising when all of these women like Evan and Esme and Ashley were crying. And he said something to me like, you don't understand, they were so upset that they even had to go outside and comfort each other in between takes. And
They have to get
to
their
me,
stories straight. They have to go outside and get their stories straight. Okay, are you kidding me? Comfort each other. Shut the. You've got me on the back foot now. Once you say we're going to get demonetized, now I'm watching what I say.
no,
Not
you're
for
you're good
Christ.
because you haven't said the bad words. Then it'll get easier. Like after a while, you'll be able to speak how you want to speak, but in general, but also not say those words like
Are you
every
telling an
other word.
Irishman that he's going to eventually conform? That's
I'm
heresy.
trying to help you get monetized more too. So some of you may not know this, but
Yeah,
everybody,
but
but
hey, did
Celtic.
you see talking about
Wait,
getting monetized?
I was
All
about
right,
to
go
sell
ahead.
your channel. You got to dial it down. You got to dial it down. Celtic, I would say most of the videos that he does, they don't get monetized because YouTube is so picky about some of those words. And so when you see me kind of like, like a schoolmaster or whatever, like sort of slapping his hand, it's because I'm trying to I'm trying to help him. Help me help you. No,
Help
okay.
me help you, Jerry Maguire. Did you
Let's
see in the
go
super
ahead.
chats today for that thing that we were watching how I started plugging my OnlyFans?
Oh no, yeah,
Myself
that was
and
kind of
Paula. That was hell. I couldn't help myself. People started not being nice to me, and I was like, "Well, hang on, I'm gracing you with me presence here, and I'm in the super chat for this fucking thing. We're live, so you know what? Are you
you're gonna go
subscribed
for
to my
it.
OnlyFans? If you like me here, you'll love me there. All right, for Christ." So I
I'm
just thought
sure
that was
that
fun. It raged people though. I loved seeing how fast this stuff happened. While people, what the what? I could just imagine so many studs in their houses in Echo Park or wherever, just going, what is going on here? Banging their knuckles on the keyboards.
Echo Park.
Yeah, because they're
Well,
all
I don't
hipsters
know.
over there,
I know. I did think it was. I thought it was when you said that. I thought it was funny. I was like, "Oh man, that is just not going to go over." Did you get any OnlyFans members out of it? Any new interest? Because
Subscribers. I think a
because
couple of the
that's really the
dykes. There was a
barometer.
couple of dykes checking out my hairstyle when I was there, to be honest,
Checking out your hairstyle.
Yeah, they kept pointing their middle fingers at me. I was like, that means Paula told me it means you have a cool haircut.
Interesting. Interesting. I don't know anything about any of that, so I know that
Did Paula
probably
not tell
that's.
you that we got people started putting their fingers up at us when we were leaving?
So this is we'll get to that in a moment, right? But let me just say also that probably the D word is another word that you don't want to say to get
Duchess, don't get me
demonetized.
started on Meghan Markle.
Dude, all right, you know what? Meghan Markle is of all the topics that I have covered, right? You would think it would be some of the stuff, I was against the COVID vaccine mandates, don't want to get down that trail or whatever, but there's been a lot of stuff I've been, against or whatever. Meghan Markle, that is the one topic, that and Princess Diana, that it drives some people fucking crazy. Like I will get like the worst messages and threats or whatever, not from the Manson stuff or some of my other stuff that's controversial, but from the Meghan Markle, the Meghan Markle thing. Oh, someone was just telling me my banner's messed up. That's funny. That's because I'm drunk, people. Can't you tell? No. I'm not, but my banner is messed up there. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it. I'll fix it in just a second. What is
Did you
that?
see
What am I
it?
looking at?
What this girl wore? This is what this girl wore. She got up there in floods of tears, but that's what she was
Oh,
wearing. Get
today.
her. Yeah.
You don't remember whom she was accusing, though? No.
No, I was in the super chat too much. It got a bit boring after a while, you know what I mean? So, I mean, once they were like, I think she wasn't the one talking about Steven Tyler, and she wasn't talking about Brian Warner, but yeah, man, they're like everybody had similar stories. It was like I was this and I was that, and then this was happening, and then this happened, and then everything went wrong. And like it's all like 3 years later I tried to report it, and like it's just like, hang on, what's going on here? But then this guy showed up and told me that I could get some money, and then I was like, you know what, I'd like some money. So
Yeah, so I
yeah.
wanted to play actually, I wanted to play the rest of that. It wasn't very long, but the rest of his little speech for people. One second, I'm going to share the screen again.
Insurance companies should just take him out, man. You know what I mean? Because that's all he's doing is bringing up everybody's premiums with shit like this.
Well, you know what? This is an interesting point because one of the things that I've thought about a lot, especially with the Manson settlement and stuff the last few weeks, is that the legal system, and I know this isn't some big newsflash. I know a lot of people already knew this, and I guess I was an idiot not to think about it very much until now. But the legal system is designed to where you can just harass an innocent person just perpetually. You can bankrupt them, you can make their life miserable if you want to. And, it seems like in a way that's, it doesn't matter if someone is guilty or innocent because they're already undergoing a kind of a legal punishment. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, the answer is beyond me, but damn, I mean, I think Marilyn Manson is innocent of this shit. And he has in all these different ways and continues to be put through the ringer. It's just incredible. I don't know. But let's watch this real quick and then you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
That we believe enabled it to happen. And this suit names him and at least two of the industry defendants in it that we believe enabled it to happen. And there are more to come.
And there are
fuck
more
yeah,
to
there's
come.
more. You look out, motherfucker.
We also know that.
Dude, I just want to say right there, that's
we're
scary.
gonna roll up with the boys, and we're coming for your noise, baby. We want all the money.
I mean, I don't know.
Amazing.
Do you think that he's talking about Manson-related stuff? Do you think that he's saying that there are gonna be more people
Yeah.
coming for Manson with I mean, I don't even wanna
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it. Like, to me, it's almost like saying it. I don't even wanna put it out there in the universe. But
No, I took that as he's coming for more people that were involved in it. That to me was like a scare tactic for anybody that's close to it. You know, it's like, if you think your hands are dirty, we're gonna find out. You know, it's like a cop interrogation tactic. You know?
yeah, well, and okay, hold on a second. I don't wanna skip. I've got a couple of super chats.
I can't see any of the super chats. I just want to
Can
say,
you
oh,
see on the
hello.
screen? There we go.
Oh, I can see it now.
Okay, are you able to see the content of the comment section with people like
No, I
commenting in
can't
the
see the
chat?
comment. Oh, maybe if I click on it, I can.
Yeah, click
Maybe
on
I should
comments.
do
There you
that.
go. Yeah. So okay,
Okay,
so
cool.
Marcella Calais, love you, Colonel Kurtz and Celtic Iron. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I think that I started noticing you on maybe on Steph's live stream. I think weren't you on that when I did the live stream with Steph? I love Steph. And Paul, let me see. How do I get yours on there? Just a second. Oh, there we go. And this is one of my favorite patrons. He's been a patron for a long time on Patreon. Love listening to you two play off each other well. Thank you, Paul. Paul works for a famous shoe company. Well, does other stuff besides shoes too. But anyway, okay.
New Balance?
We're not going
I
to
like
out
New
you
Balance.
here. We're not going to out you here. That no worries. No, his name. I'm sure you can look him up. Okay, so let's watch the rest of this. But oh no, I know what I was going to say. Like, I'm genuinely alarmed when he says that there's more, and I hope that it is just related to this lawsuit. I hope that because actually she did in the lawsuit, this accuser, she named defendants like 1 through 20 and said that there were like 20 people that were also involved in these crimes. And so maybe it's like you're saying, it's an intimidation tactic. I'll tell you. So before we get into this anymore, there was a part of the lawsuit, this most recent lawsuit, where it talks about how an unnamed YouTuber has been conspiring with Manson's wife to retaliate against victims of Manson. And I just want to say
Retaliate how?
well, I just want to say a couple of things here. And this is not, it's not like a legal answer or whatever. It's just my explaining my perspective on things. Is that, first of all, I pretty much do and have always done what I want to do with my YouTube channel. And at times that is what are you doing over there?
I'm listening. I'm listening
Well, it's very
intently.
distracting and kind of annoying. So why don't we take because you're drawing attention away from what I'm saying.
Oh, is that what I was doing? Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you see how
I
close
thought I
up
was giving
it
it dramatic effect.
is? Do you see how close up it is? All right. So in about 8 minutes, we're gonna have a guest coming on. So I want to get through this, but I'm
Okay,
serious.
8
You look like
minutes.
a
There's another
hostage
guest coming
video.
on.
You
All
look
right.
like a hostage video. Well, you're gonna
I
stay
am a
on.
hostage. I have a beautiful woman on my bed. She's looking at me like looking at the watch, going, "What's going on here, sweetheart? I was promised a
No,
party."
no, you're supposed to be on here for hours. You committed to doing this for 15 more hours, didn't you?
15 more hours. Oh my lord!
We're going for another 24. What was it? A 20-hour marathon that I did last time.
You did rock that.
Oh
Fair play to you.
man. Oh man. I don't know, but I don't even remember what I was talking about. Everybody, you remind me. It must not have been that important if I was
Damn!
talking
Somebody
about
gave $49
No.
snooper chat. They whatever they said that they get
Oh, let's
called
see.
out.
Whatever they said.
Whatever they said's probably pretty all right, unless they said something bad about my hair.
Oh,
In
they're
that
way
case, they were
back
very
there.
wrong.
Why is theirs not coming up? Who is that? Lisa, you both need a podcast. Yeah, from your lips to God's ears. Thank you for being on tonight. Why can't I get her comment to come up? Just a second, Lisa. I'm trying to find yours. I will search to the ends of the earth for this comment. No, all I was saying is just that, yes, I was alluded to in the lawsuit, and basically, no, I don't work for Lindsay and Manson. And also, I don't understand the term retaliate. I'm trying to fight for justice and I'm trying to fight for the truth. And I'm not going to have that mischaracterized as some kind of retaliation, some kind of inappropriate retaliation. That's just stupid and threatening.
Yeah,
So
I would work for them. However, I just want to say, if either Lindsay or Manson want a personal trainer, I'd happily be their personal trainers. Or Lindsay wants just like a personal shopper. I'd walk around the mall
personal
with her.
shopper. I love it.
I'd walk around the mall with her. I'd walk around the mall with her. You know what I mean? Whatever.
That sounds like a fun job. You could be
Yeah.
part bodyguard too, because you know jujitsu. You're like
Oh,
Giselle Bundchen's new
Oh
squeeze.
no, that'd be a whole different level for those two guys. No, people are scared enough of them. You know what I mean? They're like Manson's so big, he looks like the devil when he walks outside. And like Lindsay, she's so beautiful. She's like, it's just the divinity blinds people. They don't need bodyguards. They couldn't use a protection like mine.
You're like Liam Neeson in Taken. You have like what is it? A select set of service or
Oh,
skills.
Jesus
What is
Christ,
that whole
yeah,
thing
there
that
you
he
go.
tells?
I don't know. I remember seeing that film and I was like, that's the only time I want to watch that. That was traumatizing. Christ. That was like a 90-minute heart attack. It's like, okay,
Well, that was
all
like
right.
real sex trafficking. Actually, that is the real thing, unlike all of these bogus lawsuits.
Dude, when they were sitting there today talking about sex trafficking, I was literally in my seat. I was like, what do you mean? If you bring them across straight lines, that's trafficking?
Oh man. We never, you know what? We never finished telling the story. So I'm gonna real quick, I'm gonna get through these super chats and then
You're over 21,
hey,
right?
Hey, we're almost to the end of this segment, so please don't do anything that's gonna make it be a disaster. Okay. I'm
Okay,
begging
cool.
you. I'm begging you. Okay, thank you. All right. And to those out in the audience who think that I'm being rude, let me just tell you it's necessary, and he knows it's necessary. Okay. Lisa, we do need a podcast. If you know anybody, if you know any Hollywood producers, we would love to get paid big money to do what we are doing. And thank you for that big super chat.
I want my
Because
own
we kind of
Netflix
are.
show. I'm trying to get my own Netflix show. I want me, Lucas Froix, and Mike Mancini to have our own Netflix show. And
I
just
think
follow
that
us
would be
around LA.
amazing. I think that would
it'd
be
be awesome.
amazing. Well, I saw that the Rocco, the really famous Italian porn star,
Yeah.
he had a whole documentary series,
Yeah.
and it did really well. I think that would be awesome. I hope that there's a producer out there watching and call you up because it would be hilarious. Okay, thank you for this. I never know how to pronounce your name. I see you all the time. 3Y3. I never know how to say it. But you asked, was Bianca, aka Jane Doe 3, there today? Okay. I asked Paula this, and she said that she was not. So Bianca, the accuser, was not there. So I want to finish this story real quick with Celtic. I think you're going to find it interesting. So here's what happened. I'm going to let him tell it, but tell me the very end when you and Paula were leaving, right? You were leaving the press conference or whatever. What happened?
All right. So we were going across the street to the LA, the ice rink that was over there. And when we were coming back, we're at the lights. And I'm a fun kind of guy. I like having fun. I have a good time. You know what I mean? Paula's a nice hang, but she's very strong. You know what I mean? There's a presence to her. And so when we're standing at the light, I'm there. My body is turned fully to her, like trying to get her attention. Like, oh well, it was really cool. That's how I am out in the real world. And she's looking dead ahead. Not, I thought still ignoring me because I did anyway. It doesn't matter. She was a little anyway. We'll get back to that.
Laughed. You kind of laughed during the press conference.
Okay, when one of the women used the term, I am. What was it? It was the Amber Heard classic line. I am here to. Oh, what was it? My truth. It was not my truth. To speak truth. I am here to speak my truth to power. I couldn't hold it in. I'm sorry. Okay. Look, I'm going bright red. I can feel it in my face right now. But anyway, this woman was telling her story. People were crying. Okay. And then when the woman said that, and Paula wasn't very happy with me that I did that. Okay. So anyway, we're at the lights.
See, Paula has to keep you on a short leash too, right? It's not just me. That's right. Okay. But okay.
It takes a very woman of a particular caliber and strength to, rein me in. All right. Many have failed. God bless them. Anyway, so we're crossing the street and Paula's like, Nicholas, there's people up there taking our photos. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't even look over because I didn't want, if somebody was taking our photos, I didn't want to give them the reaction. And she did this thing where like I know Paula well enough. I don't want to say what she did, but I knew her body language where like she all of a sudden went into this where it's like, oh, people are looking at us and people are taking our photos. So just hang on a second. So I was like, all right. So we're walking across the street. And then as we get to the other side, I look up in the window. There were people with their phones out. And like one was waving at us, and then there were two women there. One had this bright red hair, and they had their fingers up like this, giving the middle fingers to us.
So I'm like, wait. So you're leaving. Wait. So you're saying that? I'm sorry. Two people in like the group of like anti-Manson, or like, who were these people?
No. Vic. I mean, we got photos of them, and I zoomed in on. They're in the background of the photo that I took while I was in there, because I was like, I walked
the
up
one who was giving you
like a lunatic. I walked up to the podium and took a fucking selfie. All right.
The ones who were giving you the finger, what did they look like? I'm trying to figure out who they were, because they were. What did they look like?
Yeah. Well, I should have. Oh shit! Hang on, I gotta get me battery. But yeah, there was the red-haired chick that was sitting directly in front of us. And
wait, was the red-haired chick? I'm sorry, the red-haired chick, was that Lee?
She's a lawyer with the attorney, with the district attorney for LA, the guy that hasn't said that the case is over yet.
You're saying that you saw Lenora Claire giving you
the finger? Yeah, with the red hair.
When you
I gotta get me charged. 2 seconds.
Okay,
when we were crossing the street, 7%. Hang on.
Go ahead. All right. So, that was like I felt like that was like a lot of like ADHD right there on both of our parts. But I think what he's saying is that one of the people who is very much in favor of the accusers and who is friends with Jane Doe number 3. She was there.
Celtic Iron back in the house,
and she gave you the finger. I was just explaining this. Oh, that's really wow. Are you sure of this, or is that something you're not sure of? But are you you're positive you saw them?
Okay, well, there was only one chick there with red hair. Okay, and she was sitting in front of us. And then when I looked up after we crossed the street, or whatever that street was, like at the Ritz-Carlton and the JP Marriott. And I looked up and she was there. Now, it was my fault that I didn't pull my cam because I had my vlogging camera with me. I should have pulled it out as we were crossing the street. But my first concern was to make sure Paula got across the street safe, because like there was loads of cars and shit, and like people are aggressive downtown. So yeah, I could have, if I'd been more, what's the word? Covert, or like just more prepared or defensive, I could have like got my camera out, or even my phone camera, and got them. But I just
I believe you.
We're in the middle of we were in the middle of a big intersection, so.
Because she said that Paula has said that some of them were taking pictures of you too. So I'm sure that what's going on is.
I mean, but I'm used to people taking my photos. Like, this is Hollywood, I'm a big porn star,
No, but
award-winning male talent.
I'm sure what's going on though there is that they're trying to build this idea that, oh, there's this retaliation that Marilyn Manson is engaged in, right? Because we're all of us YouTubers who are just trying to point out the truth in what we see. We're just all like a bunch of sort of brainwashed cult members. That's why it's so important for them to prove that I was a Marilyn Manson fan before all this started. And I saw online the other day, maybe a couple of weeks ago, that some of them thought that they had found this really great theory that, oh my God, I think I I saw her name, Colonel Kurtz, in a chat room. It was a Marilyn Manson chat room, several years ago, and she's a fan. Oh my God. And like, no, not that it would matter, but no. And it's just funny because it's so important for them to feel like, oh, it's just a cult. And that's why, that's the only reason why anyone would support Manson is because they're brainwashed. And so I'm sure that what they're thinking is, oh, Manson, he sent his minions there today. And so you and Paula, right, you're just like these brainwashed idiots, right? And oh, Manson told us to come. When that was not at all what happened. I told you to go.
While I was
It's
getting my
me.
pedicure
I'm the one
done.
pulling the strings. No.
Yeah, you're the you're the hand. You're
I'm the
the
puppet
white
master.
glove. You're the
I'm
white
puppet
gloved
master.
engineer of
No.
this whole operation. That's
No,
right.
that
yes.
and for legal purposes, that's absolutely not true. All right. So anyway, we do have somebody who is going to join us now. Celtic, do you need to leave or can you stick around or what's your status right now?
I'll hang out for a few bit. You want me to say hello? I'll say hello. Who is it?
So
is it
this
Rose
guy,
McGowan? Oh no, she's probably not feeling well. Rose isn't feeling well these days.
Oh man. Okay.
She's a little under the weather. She's full of bullshit.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So anyway, I don't know where that came from. But anyway, we've got Mini-Manson here. And Mini-Manson is, and I don't know, I guess I'll just let him sort of introduce himself. So I'm going to bring you on, Mini, and you tell me, tell us, hi, hold on one second. Let me enlarge
This looks like this Friday night just got interesting. God bless you.
I'm trying to make him bigger. Just a second here.
Hollywood. There you go. That's right.
Wait.
Whoops.
How do I? Okay. There we go. Slowly out. All right. I love it. So,
hello, everybody. Yes, Mini-Manson here, your favorite entertainer.
There you go.
All right. Let me see if I can bring. Let me see if I can do this. I was trying to. Just a second. I'm trying to make
this is only your second show.
There we go.
I've been there.
Actually my second. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make yours bigger than our photos, but it seems like it.
Made in California.
Somebody tell me.
California. God bless you.
Somebody tell me in the stream, how do I do this? That's so weird. Because I want to keep us all on.
Man, you got a crazy long tongue. God bless you. Anyone ever told you that?
Jesus.
You know that already.
Just a second. All right. Well, I'm just going to give you the solo layout because I don't know how to do this right now. Just a second.
Hot.
Solamente.
Manos arriba, control the pared.
Oh, wow.
Hola.
Hola.
All right.
So,
do I call you Mini or what do you want to be called in this?
Mini-Manson.
All right. And tell me, like, how do you describe yourself? Would you say like you're a Manson impersonator? Does that do it or what is it?
No, I'm not a Manson impersonator, but I am. He is my inspiration. I'm Gothic actually, and I do a lot of his songs, but I'm not trying to be him. Also, my video game controller is kind of broke. I thought maybe you could look at it.
Well, I want to say, like, I came across you by way of, or I'm putting myself back on the screen now. I came across you by way of Pod Awful. And so you and Pod Awful, did you have a falling out or anything? Are you still simpatico?
Simpatico, but kind of a falling out because they tried to control me and I don't like that. I am my own boss.
Yeah, well, I was warned.
It was some of the people in the cult. Some of the people in the cult. It was them. They basically put the nail in a coffin between me and Pod Awful.
Well, I was warned that if I had you on the show, that things could go off the rails really quickly.
What do you mean?
I was like, well, that sounds
Only
like a challenge.
If you let the wrong people on your show, but you have control who comes on your show, am I right? If they don't show their face, you don't let them on. If you don't know the person, you do not let them on. Don't let people on your show. Protect your channel because it is linked to your YouTube and they will take your channel away like that. So
Well, I looked at your content and I was like, well, I see like he does some good songs. Like you really like, and I'm impressed by how much effort you put into your backdrop to join us here because you
thanks.
definitely taken it seriously.
Look at those candles. Those candles, I bought Waxman candles on Lincoln Avenue in Chicago because they're having a big sale because they're going out of business in Chicago. But they still got a
It's
store
gotta
in
be really
Kansas.
is it really fucking cold? Is it really fucking cold in Chicago right now? Because it's
Oh,
cold in
we can say
Texas right
that
now.
word on there? Oh, fuck yeah.
We
It's
can
fucking
say that.
freezing out.
We can say
Well,
that.
Shit
I've
rock.
been restraining myself from cursing this whole time. I thought I couldn't say I couldn't curse.
No, you just
Telling
can't
an
say
Irishman not to curse, that's
you
hard.
can't say
There
the
you go. See, he
the
knows what the
C and the B
score is.
word. The C and
I
the B
sure
word.
do.
C and the B word.
Baloney?
Oh,
So
Yeah, I
Hollywood.
better not say that one.
So how long have you been doing this, Mini-Manson?
About a year and a half, but I just got the idea to do the stage thing about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Look
Yeah.
at my
Where are
older
you doing
videos.
that? Are you
How bad they
doing
are
what
compared
venue?
to-
What
Go
venues are
ahead.
you doing that in Hollywood? I'll come see you. If you're in Hollywood, you're
I'm
getting
with-
on stage. I'll come see you. Where are you doing it?
I just visited. I live in Chicago, but I was in Hollywood 6 weeks ago for 4 days, and I did a show, and it was a live stream show like this, only walking around in real life. But if
Right on.
somebody wants to come and sign me and take me to California, I'll be glad to live in Hollywood. That's like one of that's my main goal.
Yeah, good on you. Good. It's an American dream. You know what I mean? Look, California
It sure
dreaming.
is.
Yeah, God bless
So
you.
Yeah.
Fair play. I love your backdrop. Sick backdrop. You got great
it is
production
a
value. Good on you.
backdrop.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
I
So
also have
tell
lots of
me,
props. Go ahead.
yes, I was wondering how long have you been like a Manson fan? Like, have you been a Manson fan for like decades?
A year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, so you've only been a Manson fan for a
Yeah.
year. So how did you discover Manson and Manson's music in the last year and a half?
Well, he came to Chicago with Kanye West and went to Soldier Field, and there was this White House there, and he came out on the porch, and he was wearing his Hugo Boss coat, looking all sexy and mature, and that did it.
That did it.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's solid to you. It's solid to you. You
Well,
can tell
Well, he
he's a
does.
powerful man underneath all those jackets, you know?
Oh, what is
Yeah.
that? Is that a pillow or what is? Oh, a
It's a
second.
A
pillow.
satanic pillow, yeah.
That
Satan.
is.
There you go. Hail Satan indeed.
My mom's really proud of us right now. The other day,
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom
I'm
came
sure she
upstairs.
is.
Well, the other day, my mom came upstairs and it was just randomly like playing different like Rammstein songs and Marilyn Manson stuff. And so the one with Johnny Depp, though,
Rammstein.
Satan, and she was like just shaking her head.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you gonna do a song for us, or you're gonna do
Yeah.
you've got some things planned, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so what
This is
is
not
the
just
first?
a talking interview. There's also singing.
No.
I'm going to get out my guitar and I'm going to sing a Marilyn Manson song, the Mephistopheles.
Okay, I'm actually not
Okay.
familiar with that, even though I'm a huge.
you're not?
I'm
Jesus
a huge
Christ, I
lifelong
am.
Marilyn Manson fan, but I don't know
Ah.
how that slipped past me. All
I'm
right,
going to
cool.
play
Well, we're
some
gonna.
video games first. Isn't that freaking cute?
Oh my God, it's like I feel like I'm in a David Lynch movie right now. I think it's not the first time
I
tonight
have
I felt
stickers.
that.
There's stickers
Oh
for
yeah.
sale, and that's my YouTube channel at Mini-Manson, Mini-Manson
Oh,
Star.
wow. That's cool.
This
So
is a
he
special
has
what I give my fans.
a
We
bunch
got
of
stickers.
performances. Yeah.
$5 each, and a magnet is $10. It's laminated. Look
wow.
how thick that is. It's a
Oh,
full
it is
magnet.
laminated. Very
$10.
good.
And this is
Wow.
my boyfriend.
Oh yeah, he's very nice. Look, okay, we can do that.
I know how to tap your third eye with my tongue in a way that would just totally arouse you, Mr. Manson. All right, then.
All right. Jeez, I
All
find
right,
this
you
very,
have
very.
I think
yeah.
you've got a song for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Give
so
us look
we're
at this
gonna.
production. What a backdrop. This guy's
All
killing
right,
it in
here
the
we go.
backdrop game.
Let me put on my satanic ring. 666.
You need that
Devil
to
worship
play
with
the
you.
guitar, all right.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What a
All
wild
right.
looking stage.
Just-
He's got
I
the
have to
guitar.
say I am appreciative of all the effort you put into this, Mini. You did take it seriously.
Of course.
Native. Thank you, Native Irish.
One time I was
Oh,
playing
right on.
on a live show and my guitar strap totally just came loose. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I like when stuff like that happens.
Hey, does everyone follow me on OnlyFans, by the way? I'm just letting, like, I need to plug that right now.
All right, not
okay?
right now. Not right
All
now,
right,
actually.
not right now. Okay, well, just
All
let
right.
most of them
So
listen.
we're gonna be quiet now, Minnie. We're gonna
We're
listen to you.
listening.
Okay, no fart sounds or sirens, okay.
All right.
All right.
I don't know if I can open up.
Okay, well, we're having fun, folks. You know.
No. I told him I want you to play a song. All right,
Yeah,
Celtic,
all right,
stand
you need
down.
Good talking.
All right.
During the song, I need to
Yes,
concentrate.
I just muted him.
Yeah, mute
All
him.
right, go. You play the whole song. Go.
I'm going to do it good. You know, I have learning disabilities. I forget things, and I'm actually
Yeah,
playing
no,
this.
I want to hear it.
I'm actually playing this without looking at the lead sheet like I usually do. I usually cheat in the kitchen, but I'm in here doing it from my mind. I want to do it good for you.
All right, you have the floor.
Can you hear the guitar?
I can hear it. Yeah.
Good. I don't know if I can open it up. Can't open it up. I don't know if I can open it up. I'm not a protector. I'm aggressively aggressive. It's all right. So pathetic. I'm very pathetic. Very I'm getting started like a hero. Take me, my maker. I'm getting started like a hero. Take me, my maker. Lazarus got no duty. Lazarus got no duty. And I rise to every occasion. I'm the nothing stop of the centuries, of the centuries. I don't know if I'm okay now. I ain't looking for much. Cause it crossed over in my path, in my path. We fantastic, we fantastic. I can't start and my maker. My maker. Lazarus got no duty. Lazarus got no duty. And I rise. Damn it. And I rise to the occasion. And the taste of my centuries. Of my centuries.
I tell you what. Was that the end? I thought that was the end. Sorry.
No.
I was going to say that you're doing a better job, definitely better job than I would do with it. So applause for that. No, but I don't think we can quite hear like everything. So that's the problem.
It's drowning out some of the guitar, right?
I just don't think the sound mixing, it's probably working exactly. But you know, the song, what was the song that you played for me earlier? The one when we was it Tainted Love? The one that you did earlier for me when we practiced, when we did the sound check? I tell you what,
Yeah.
I thought that one was actually that it sounded better. Do you want to play some of that for us? I'll give you a little bit more time. Give you one more song. Do you want to do that?
Well, if the guitar songs aren't working, I can sing instead.
I liked what you did. I thought what you did was cool when we tested about an hour ago when we tested the equipment. So do that. Was it Tainted Love? I think you were dancing. I thought that was cool.
I think it
All
was
right.
Standing Love, or it was the Dope Show.
Do Tainted Love. I think it was Tainted Love. I tell you what. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do what you can do with Tainted Love. All right.
Well,
Okay.
I have the Dope Show.
No. Tainted Love was
queued up.
good.
All right.
Tainted Love was good. Do
Let
it.
me
That
go
was
get
good.
it. Tainted Love. There it is. Yeah, I've always had an issue with my audio, so I'm glad you told me though.
All right. All right.
Man, I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the way you got. I made a lot. Seems to go nowhere. And I lost my life. Oh, I talk and talk, can't sleep at night.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so Minnie, I just muted you just because I think that probably some of the acoustics are driving some people crazy on the stream, but that was a lot better than what I do. I have to tell you, that was really good, and you put your all into it. I wish we could have gotten the acoustics a little better to have you back on. I'm gonna turn on the sound again. But
why is my mute muted?
I know, I can hear you now. I'm just because I had to tell you, I had to turn
It
off
wasn't that
the
good, was
sound.
it?
I think you're good. I think that you're good, actually. I think it's just the acoustics are not great. But
On
look,
StreamYard, it doesn't work, but when you listen to my videos, it sounds perfect. Like
I
I said,
know,
I
I
don't know how.
know. No,
I've had
it's fine,
people
and
spend countless
we
hours with me
tested.
with StreamYard, with Discord, and I just can't figure it out. I bought hundreds of dollars worth of expensive equipment that's sitting there in the corner that I never
No,
used.
no,
That I'm
don't.
on a budget and I'm throwing money away
No,
on
no,
this.
don't worry. I
So
told you though, all we wanted to do tonight is have a good time, and I just wanted to give
yeah,
you a chance. So some people might not know how this
okay,
came about. Let me tell people the brief story, and we'll chat a little bit because I wanted to get your opinion on some of the Manson stuff too.
sure.
Um, but what happened was, when I did my long 20-hour live stream, I wanted to have some different people on to sort of make things like crazy and liven things up. And so Mini-Manson, he stayed up. Oh, that's cool.
Isn't it?
He stayed up for 20 hours hoping to get on my show, and I never let him on my live stream when I was doing the 20-hour live stream. I didn't let him on, and he stayed up 20 hours with me hoping that I would just let him on for a minute. So I was like, "Oh, man." So I felt like for your persistence, I owed it to you to have you on, and I actually have to say, like, to emphasize what you're saying, when people go to your channel and they watch your videos, they'll see that actually, like, the quality it's good
Yeah.
quality. So I think we just had some technical issues. I'm bringing
That's the
Celtic Iron
StreamYard
back
people.
in.
My talent didn't suddenly die
You're
and
in
fall
Celtic.
off.
Oh my God. So, Celtic, do you want to introduce us to the beautiful woman, or shall she remain nameless? Or
This is oh no, she's definitely not renaming nameless. I'll get into a lot of trouble.
okay.
Yeah. No, this is the
All
award
right, Minnie.
nominated Asia Lee.
Oh,
Here you
all right.
go.
Asia Lee, it's nice to meet you. This is like the
Yeah.
most bonkers probably live stream that you've ever
Yeah.
been on. We try to try to have a crazy Friday night.
She had
All
her
right,
own
so
interview at the AVNs this year. She was at
oh,
the 101 modeling booth. Big stuff. She has her own OnlyFans also. She's big on
really?
Porno Hub and what's that other site? Manyveds and XXX.
Mini-Manson. Hold on. Let's hold off on the licking of
He's still
Marilyn. There we go.
he's still praying to God. He's just licking
All
some
right.
photos of
I
Marilyn
tell you
Manson,
what,
our Lord and Savior.
I tell you what we're gonna do to my audience. You can tell me if this sounds good. I think we're gonna finish up with Mini-Manson. I want to ask Mini-Manson about his opinion on the Manson cases, and then we're gonna move on. We'll talk to Celtic and his lady just for a bit. All right,
This
and
is
then
my wife. She just landed from Korea.
oh man,
I sent 20 alpacas. All right. She doesn't speak any English.
what are you
She's gonna be
talking
a
about?
star though, okay?
You're digging yourself into some kind of a hole there. All right, so Minnie.
Yeah.
Minnie, tell me, what do you think before we say goodbye? Tell me, what do you think about all of the latest stuff with all of the lawsuits against Marilyn Manson? Do you have any opinion on any of that?
Yeah, actually, especially with the new one that came out with the Anderson lawyer, I think that if you dress in a sexy way like that, I don't care how old you are, and you stand outside the tour bus, American culture, you know by now what happens when you go to concerts. You know what happens when you go backstage. And I'll tell you what, as an entertainer, if you come backstage doing that, you know, you deserve what you get, really. You know, they shouldn't be standing out there, 16 years old, dressing like they're 25, hitting on a man who just performed. Entertainers get very horny, especially while they're performing. It's the ultimate aphrodisiac to be on the stage. And then to come off the stage after a successful, people screaming and yelling and worshiping you, you know, he's the only natural Mr. Manson's going to be turned on, and he's going to want to fuck everybody that's 10 feet around him, you know. So these women are standing, I don't care how they're standing outside the tour bus, they get what they deserve, really.
Well, it's
So,
definitely you definitely dropped some bombs there on your way out. So Minnie Manson, it's been as the hippies used to say, it's been real. I'll give you
keep
that.
hitting.
And
Uh,
I appreciate
Promote my
and
channel real quick. Mini-Manson, star Mini-Manson on YouTube.
Yes, you are on YouTube. That's right. So people can find you. And like I said, your musical performances on YouTube, I think that they're better because the
Great.
acoustics are better. So people can check you out there and your stuff. And I appreciate you being a good sport with this. And also I appreciate you not doing anything too awful and outrageous on this show because I've had
Of
my
course
fingers
not.
crossed the whole time. So I appreciate you behaving as much as you're able. All right. Bye, Minnie Manson. Bye bye.
Peace
We'll
out,
see you
brother. Keep
later.
rocking what you got. God bless you.
All right.
Right on. Mini-Manson on YouTube, everybody. Check him out. There you go. Rock and roll.
Ooh, man. So, that's I wanted to do something edgy for the Friday live stream and that got up to the line there. But anyway, there's there was a story behind that. I think I basically told you is that he stayed up for 20 hours
That's
on my
impressive, all right.
20-hour live stream and I felt and yeah, I know how he is, right? But I felt like that was like some kind of crazy achievement. And he was so sad that I wouldn't let him on the live stream because I think he thought that if he'd stayed on, I would. And I wouldn't even let him on for a minute. So I told him, I said, okay, I tell you what, I'll give you a forum, I'll give you a format, we'll do like a crazy like Friday night live stream and you can come on for 30 minutes and do whatever, but you have to not do something too crazy. So anyways,
Well, I'm
so
just glad he didn't start jerking off then. In fact,
well, I mean,
you know?
I think
Because rock stars, look,
move on.
if one
Move
thing
on.
he taught us is that
Move on.
rock stars of his and Marilyn Manson's caliber, they get very horny after they've been performing, right? Honey, have you been backstage
Oh
before?
my gosh.
Have any rock stars assaulted you backstage? Oh, she's shy now. Now she's shy.
Well,
Now
I'm sure it
she's
has
shy.
nothing to do with the completely abrasive question that you just
Oh,
asked.
okay. Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
So I tell you what, I'm going to talk to you. It'll be much nicer. Come back into the frame for just a second. Does she want to? I'll interview you for a second.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here, you can sit on Big Daddy's
All
lap
right.
if you want. All right, there we go. All right, she's
Celtic.
comfortable now.
All right. So Celtic we're going to turn down Celtic for a moment. No. So how long have you been in LA? Seriously, are you a native LA?
No, I'm actually from the Midwest.
Oh, where in the Midwest?
Wisconsin.
Look at the camera. Right there.
Oh, it's right there. I thought it was right here.
No, it's this big one here.
You're fine. You're beautiful no matter what, so nobody will care. Wisconsin, you know, you don't. Yeah, Wisconsin, I don't think I could handle that kind of cold weather like for 5 minutes. Were you okay with it? Did you get used to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there my whole life, so I'm pretty used to the cold. But I mean, yeah, it gets pretty damn cold. Like the negatives.
Pretty damn cold. Okay. Well, you know, probably like the most, I think one of those famous things about Wisconsin was Jeffrey Dahmer, right? So that was like
Yes.
nowadays with the TV show, right? That's what how everybody
We leave that on while we're making our sex. We just like it's a very erotic
You've been
show.
muted. You've been muted. I'm never letting you come on a Friday night again. It's like it's taken like your most extreme instincts and it's like made them unruly. No, I'm teasing.
I was
had
given
you
a
on.
platform today at a press conference, okay? I'm still coming down from that high, okay? I restrained myself in that woman of crying wet blanket women, all right? Oppressed victims.
Oh my
I could have
God.
said some things. I didn't, okay?
Yeah.
Paula was already angry at me.
Yeah, it's your struggle. It's hard. Well, I don't
Mind
doubt
bump, exactly. You know what's up.
I don't doubt that it was difficult though for you to keep your mouth shut because just watching the live stream, just being like removed from it and watching it, I was like, oh man, this is so hard to watch. So
Now,
hard
the
to watch.
people in front of me and behind me could definitely hear me saying underneath my breath, "Oh Jesus Christ! Oh, can you fucking believe? Oh, get the fuck!" Like there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I bet. I don't doubt it. And, you know, I don't know about all of those other cases, but like for instance, one of the cases that they were representing there was Nick Carter, the case against Nick Carter, the lawsuit against Nick Carter. People can tell me in the chat, in the stream, like, are those allegations legit? Because it looked like from what I'd read, those were kind of fishy. So I don't know. And there were some other people, there were some other cases that were represented there too. But they were all against the music industry, people in or organizations in the music industry. So I don't know. I was trying to see if we missed any chats, any super chats. I feel like we may have. We got Native Irish. Okay.
Hey,
So
Native Irish. I'd like to know where Native Irish is actually from.
Native Irish, tell us where are you from? Let me see if I can find that chat again. I'll put it back up.
So what's the story? Can we get together and like, because I feel that there's strength in numbers. Can we get together a crew of people and we go to the district attorney's office and we ask for some answers regarding questions? Because I mean, there's like these people are low life grifters, all right, that are trying to exploit the insurance industry and the legal system to, you know, empower and enrich themselves with ill-gotten gains through the crumbling of the moral fabric of modern society via these rock stars and entertainers who are in very vulnerable positions given their position in society and limelight.
Yeah, I hear you.
Regulators mount up, okay? I need some.
So let me say this. I think that unfortunately, because they keep using all this rhetoric about retaliation, I think that unfortunately they've got us in a situation where we have to be careful to some degree because like I could see where if you showed up at the DA's office, even though you'd just be there to like in sort of a peaceful protest or whatever, I could see like the people freaking out and you know, Brian Warner sent them. They're in Manson's cult. He sent them there to harass and retaliate and all of that. That's what's so ridiculous.
I'm gonna go dressed as a priest. Oh, and that was the other thing. That fucking lawyer today, I didn't like the way he immediately compared the Marilyn Manson cult to the Catholic Church cult. I was like, I could have kicked off within the first 5 minutes. I could have kicked off on the Catholic Church cult. I was
Well,
like,
you know why he did that? Because he brought a bunch of lawsuits against the Catholic Church, and I'm sure legitimate, right, for all the sex abuse stuff. But so anyway, what he's trying to do is he's trying to like piggyback this bullshit Manson stuff and some of these bullshit entertainment industry lawsuits on the Catholic stuff because of course, you know, people think that's a worthy cause and rightly so, right? It's like the most
but
horrible
also, how
thing.
can he get up there and call, like, is just because him being a lawyer, can he get up there and call Marilyn Manson a rapist without using the word alleged? Because that's the thing. I was like, is that not defamation right there? Like, he got up there and point blank was like, this guy's a convicted rapist. All right, he's done this to multiple women.
Well, he didn't say convicted, but but he said rapist. You're right. I mean, I don't understand why that should be allowed either. It does seem like it's defamation, but I'm not a lawyer. That's probably something that Andrea could answer. But we got a super sticker from SD. Thank you, SD. Somebody mentioned Eliza Blue. So are you up on this? You two? Do you know
This is
what
the
I'm talking
girl that
about?
was using her she was a dirty girl using her position of power to manipulate, to suppress people while claiming that she was the one being suppressed. She was mass gaslighting people at Twitter. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds right.
There you go.
Actually.
Good daddy knows some stuff.
Well, the thing that's crazy about the Eliza Blue story is that she was somebody who really had credibility. It seems like on both sides. It seems like the political aisles. It seems like the left and the right liked her, and she was on a number of right wing shows as well. And I just think it's interesting how here's my thing. I just think it's interesting in these hoaxes how actually the truth, if anyone bothers to look, the truth is actually so obvious. It's there. Just the same with like the Marilyn Manson stuff. I mean, you don't have to actually look very far. You just pay attention to what they're saying and some of the bullshit stuff that they're saying and look at what they're doing, like with the faked FBI letter and all that. It's not hard to see that this is actually bullshit. But
Zeke Kyle, motherfuckers.
yeah,
That's
but
right.
it's like, yeah, we could probably do without the Nazi references too. It's like you've tripped off every minefield in this.
No, but that's what they were sounding like today. The way they were talking, the manipulation. I'm like, man, these guys are digging Hitler speeches. Okay, like the way
Yeah.
they're just selling such.
It's
horseshit.
propaganda. No, you're
It
right.
is
It's
propaganda. That's why I'm making the Nazi references, because it's like
Yeah.
these guys are unbelievable fascists. They're pointing at everybody else, saying that can you get your face any closer to my face right now? I mean. I'm over here kind of trying to rally up the troops, you know what I mean? Anyway, I appreciate it.
At least she's letting you talk. I thought you were going to have to leave, earlier.
I know, as far as an American woman goes, letting me talk, I mean, what privilege I have here, I'm an oppressed I'm an oppressed white man. Okay, you're allowed to do that. That's okay. Go ahead.
An oppressed Irishman. Careful, they're going to say you're like Andrew Tate if you're telling her that she can get up and leave. They're going to be like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, she's going into the western part of the compound. Yeah, she's running to the eastern wing. I'm over here like Bruce Wayne. Now the thing about these people is that they're just they're using mass control of people's minds, simple people's minds, and that's the thing that I don't like, is that they're saying that there's people out there that are preying on the weak, when it is in fact them that are preying on the minds of the weak individuals. Okay, they're going for damaged people. And they're promoting a very, very negative. Any of the girls' boyfriends that walked in there today, the only two alphas out of the entire room of like 70 or to 100 people, the only two alphas were me and the security guard. Everybody else there were these beta cuck males wearing some.
All right. But yeah, I think we all know what you're saying. Oh, shoot. Well, it's kind of like that term. You've heard the term white knighting, and I know this gets this like, yeah, but it's the idea. And, and I really hate a lot of that, like sort of, I hate the, like, what is it called? MGTOW. I hate all that shit. Right. The concept of white knighting is an interesting one. And it's the idea that you will have these guys who want to basically suck up to women, kind of like what you're talking about. And they want to be seen as like coming in here and saving the day. So it's like, yeah, ladies, we're going to save you from Marilyn Manson. And we're going to save you from, all of these horrors in the world. But really what they're doing, like you're saying, is they're just reinforcing this sort of like victim mentality, right?
Yeah, it's not good for society. That's what the propagandists of China want. They want to lower the testosterone of the males in this country, and get the women to think that the most important things are their careers and their jobs. I'm looking at all these women up there, and all.
Okay, no, that's not the direction. It's like someone's taken over your brain tonight and Unleashed. I think that I think that it's good to talk about the fact that they're lying about assault and they're lying about all this other stuff. I don't think you're not wanting to reinforce the idea that that women shouldn't work or have careers, right? Because that's what it's sounding like you're saying. Am I misunderstanding?
Oh, no, yeah, no, I think you are misunderstanding what I'm saying. Is that like they are kind of brainwashing the people into going against the natural there's just they're these the way that these people were talking about their victimhood. Okay, it was like their dreams had been taken from them. Everything that they had worked for, whatever. If she was a composer, if she wanted to be a guitar player, if she was an actress, if she was a whatever, the other one was. They all were using these things, like, and these girls were talking about things that were 7 years ago, 11 years ago, 3 years late. One girl was talking from thing that was 10 years before, and she reported it 3 years after it happened. And like, when you're listening to the
So you're
stories,
saying like they're like basically they're hanging on to these fantasies that they could have had this great career
it would have been the next
if
Katy
all
Perry
this
or
shit hadn't
Ariana
happened
Grande.
to him. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like everything could have been grand if it wasn't for this bastard male that robbed something from them, and then
Or
that male
the
was
music
protected by another.
industry. Right,
Protected,
right.
but I think this whole thing is a deep cover for Palestine to have a go at Israel, because the Jews control the entertainment industry and media. I mean, honestly though, it seems very like, hang on, you're just, because what's the real grift here? The real grift is get the money out of the insurance company, but who's the ones that the insurance companies work for? And that's the production companies. All right, so whose bottom line is getting affected here? Okay, just some billionaires. Okay, but who are the billionaires, and how high up does this thing go?
Well, I mean, I think Marilyn Manson's bottom line, first of all, I don't know how the Palestine thing came in, so I'm just going to skip over that. But I think Marilyn Manson's bottom line is being very much affected. I mean, the guy it's not all insurance money. I don't imagine that's paying for this. I mean, I don't know how much, if anything, is paying for it, but like, he's like I've said before, he's fighting a multiple front war, and he's paying people, $500 an hour to represent him and defend him in all these different cases. And I don't think insurance is paying for all that. And also he's not making money. So like his bottom line is being affected. Are you saying it's some kind of conspiracy?
Well, yeah,
Like global conspiracy? Like the Palestinians? I don't know how they're in it. You have to.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I would say that. Yeah, but like Marilyn Manson is just a byproduct of that. Just like it behooves China to have the males of American weakened, it behooves Palestine to have the finances of the entertainment industry lowered. It's financial warfare.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh my God. All right. I think we're going to call it a night. That was probably the craziest live stream. This one
I'm
will
serious.
not.
It's like these billionaires over here in Malibu. Okay, you and I, all right, we'd have a fist fight on the street, or we'd have an intellectual conversation of an argument.
Okay.
All right, but these guys throw billion dollar lawsuits at each other. Okay, that's how they fight things out.
But Manson's not a billionaire. Where's the billion?
No, I know.
In that?
Manson's just a collateral damage of a much bigger play, is what I'm saying.
And so, yeah, so I guess the bigger play, I understand the bigger play is like these different political entities, and people talk about how they're political, there's a particular political party on the left that's more invested in this stuff, and there's a cottage industry, and there's all this legislation and all that. And I totally agree that there's a conspiracy of sorts there. All these things are working in synergy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I really understand what you're saying about the billionaires or the Palestinians.
The main thing is, it's a Friday night. If you're watching this channel and you're hearing our voices, we're all having a good time, and we're the 1%. We're killing the game, baby. Okay, we have every reason in the world to be happy. Okay, we have functioning brains, lungs, and bodies. God bless us all. Thank you. Shalom.
All right, so everybody, there was something else I wanted to talk about, but
my OnlyFans. You were gonna go back to talking about my OnlyFans?
Yes. So you'll see all the links below to all of your stuff, your Instagram, your OnlyFans, your YouTube channels. You've got multiple YouTube channels. I noticed that you have a YouTube channel for growing weed. So you have like
growing
great
marijuana.
Tips.
Yes, ma'am. We were about to enter our 4th week of growing. We have 4 more weeks left, and then we'll be going into flowering for 8 weeks. Okay, but yes, join me over on Celtic Iron Cultivation. And then we have Celtic Iron Conditioning, where I put up my warm-ups before my fornication films that I make here in Hollywood as an award-winning porn star, male talent extraordinaire. And then I have Chronicles of Celtic Iron, which is now my daily vlogs. I share with you my movements of my mornings and afternoons. And then there's my ASMR, my meditation channel, of course, you know, because it's very important, you know, to be able to turn things on, but also turn them off. So yeah, that's what I've got. I've got 6. Oh, and then I have Hungry Hollywood Horrors. And that's another one. Yeah, where I go around critiquing venues around Hollywood.
And
where
it's actually a cute channel. Like, it's not how it sounds. It's actually you and someone and one of your friends in the porn industry. And yeah,
a hungry
you
whore.
go around to
It's
different
me and a hungry
restaurants.
whore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
you go around to different restaurants, and I think it's funny. So I just noticed. I want to call attention to this. We've got from
But yeah, the most
Andre.
popular out of them all is my OnlyFans. Okay, just
Yes, so
saying.
go to the
All right.
OnlyFans. So we've got here a super chat from Andre Lundby. Thank you so much. And he says, money for trying to navigate Mini-Manson, even though I don't agree with what he said on the end there. Yeah, I don't agree either. And I think probably no one in the chat agreed with a great deal of what
That
he
was pretty
said.
extreme. That was pretty extreme, dude. That was pretty extreme. It's like they deserved what they got. It's like,
yeah,
whoa. No, we didn't. We're not stamping that. We're not writing that off. We're not propping that up. God bless you. Thanks for coming on, brother. Appreciate the guitaring. But yeah, no, you're on your flying
The
solo.
stream's definitely not going on the
The mic
YouTube
is hot.
channel.
The mics are hot. It's a hot cast, hot podcast tonight. That's for sure.
Oh man, but I appreciate it, Andre. And again, like the thing is I was trying to be nice to him because he did stay up for 20 hours, and I was like, you know what, how bad could the live stream be? But I was holding my breath the whole time for some huge disaster, and so I think he did restrain himself, even though he said those things that none of us agree with. I do think Minnie probably restrained himself in some way, so I appreciate that. Okay, Native Irish says Missouri. Oh, remember we asked him or her?
Missouri.
Is that how it sounds?
Missouri.
Missouri.
I dig it. I give him a right good what for, sir? What for? You know, sometimes when you're done splashing the water, after you're done splashing the water, you got to come on with the hard elbow and you give him a little bit of what for down there in Missouri.
Say,
God bless.
let's see if we can how many more other groups we can offend before this live stream is out. No, I'm kidding. I can say that
offend the white supremacists, though, you know, or the Proud Boys. Let's offend them. Let's offend Andrew Tate's lawyer.
So I don't know, and I don't know hardly anything about the Andrew Tate thing. I know that there were a couple of things early on, a couple of articles that I read that made it sound fishy to me, but I just have not looked into it enough to have an opinion. So on the chat, you know, if you have an opinion on the Andrew Tate thing, feel free to share it. I don't know. Like I tried to listen to one of his videos, and I'm sure that there's some advice in there that's good, like work out, you know, and try to clear your mind and all of that. But there seemed like also there was just so much sort of like dumb,
he was
brutish,
doing some shock
kind of misogynistic, you know,
he was doing some shock shit for shock's sake. Like Lady Gaga when she first came out, it was just like, yeah, I'm wearing meat because I'm giving you something to talk about, all right? Yeah, but I don't agree. It wasn't done in a positive. Some of the messages and philosophies he was saying, yes, but it could be done in a much more enlightened and positive way.
Does he make a lot of money though, Andrew Tate, from all that? Because I know there are pictures of him with those fancy cars and stuff, but like I just have to tell you, I don't think that there's that much money in YouTube. Well, I guess Jake Paul.
First off, he's a rich kid. Second off, he is a legit world champion kickboxer. All right, that guy would wreck a lot of people in a fight. He's a legit world champion. All right, he's a high performance athlete, and yeah, he's just a kind of a not a Tyler Durden sort of character, but yeah, he's just a Sigma male. He's like, I don't want to hang out with people. I don't want a girl whose family I have to meet and know everybody. Okay, I just want, you know, and to be honest, with regards to like freedom and liberation, like you hear the stuff and it's like, well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but at least he's made a choice of like knowing what he likes and wants in life to protect his own self-interest. And it's just like, yeah, and it doesn't work.
He's got a definite like life narrative that he is enacting. No.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up. It's kind of a deeper philosophical idea, but I do believe like ultimately the greatest ethic is an individual ethic, that we all have our paths in life and we need to stay true to those paths, even in the face of, you know, others who would take us off course. And so I might disapprove of someone's path. And, you know, of course, there are limits to that philosophy. People always say, what about Hitler or whatever? But I'm just saying, of course, there are limits to that ideology. But in general, I look at people who, you know, they know who they are and they've charted a course and they're unapologetic about it. I think there is something to admire in that, even if I don't agree with what they're saying. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean,
Cassidy
look at what
Shell.
speaking of Hitler and people like that, I just want to say, never forget Mia Farrow. All right, like when you've got a story, you got to stick to it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, no matter what people think of Woody Allen, and I know there's discomfort around him marrying his stepdaughter. She wasn't literally his stepdaughter. I know people
Oh
always
shit!
rightfully correct me on that. She was the daughter of a woman that he'd been dating for many years. But at any rate,
Yeah,
but Mia Farrow,
Harlot. I just
she lied
look
her
at this.
ass off. She lied her
Yeah,
ass
she
off.
did lie her ass up. But look, there's one of the girls here, Harlot O'Scara. That's a good name. Don't know if it's real or not. Tate was making almost $1 million a month off Hustlers University. That's right. He had his college with
Whoa,
boys.
really?
Damn, maybe I should start my own school. I'll teach guys how to, get six packs,
Yeah.
keep a set of shoulders, calves, and get blowjobs and look handsome.
How to get blowjobs.
How
All
to
right.
receive them. How to receive
Let's
them.
see if we can
how
get
to
through this
elicit them.
stream without being offensive for one more time.
I'll tell you. Hang on. Come
We're
here. I'll
almost
show you how
there.
to do it. Hang on. Come
We've
here.
almost landed. Please don't make me regret it. Okay, Cassidy Shell, you guys are awesome. Love the live stream. We love you too, Cassidy. Thank you. See, I've never had children, and so I take all of my maternal urges and I sort of work them out with Celtic Iron. That's what we do. What?
There you go. There you go. She sends me all the face creams that I need. Keeps me all
I do
youthful
send you
looking.
face creams.
You know what I'm saying? I need taken care of. I'm like
Oh,
Halle Berry in
man.
that film Monster. I just need taken care of. You know what I'm saying?
That
All right,
sex
I'm gonna
scene
get
was
out.
so
I'm gonna get out of here.
controversial.
I better. This girl's over here. Is
Okay, I was saying we
starving,
could talk about the controversial Halle Berry sex scene in that film, but I'll let you go.
Why was that controversial?
I don't know. It was like really explicit. It got a lot of controversy at the
I don't know,
time.
but yeah, but do you know what it also did? It got Halle Berry to be the first black woman, the first woman of color to win an Oscar.
Mhm.
So there you go.
That's
Tell that
true.
to the people in the local shit kicking bar in Texas, why don't you? You know what I mean? Halle Berry, all right, go into
I'm
your
sure they'll be
local bar.
impressed. I'm sure they'll be impressed.
Yeah. Start kicking off about Halle Berry winning her Oscar. I love Halle Berry.
Oh my
She's in the
gosh.
John Wick franchise.
All right. So yeah, we will see you next time then, unless you're going to stick around longer. I think I'm going to close it up in about 10 minutes.
Are we gonna do this again next Friday?
We will do it again. I don't know if
bat time, same bat channel.
I think the Friday. I'm not sure. I think maybe the daytimes in general. It's rare I'll want to do a night stream, but I was like, Mini-Manson is coming on. You're coming on. It's going to be like bonkers crazy. So let's have it at night. At least people can be like drinking and smoking while they're watching.
Yeah, well,
Us,
are you
primarily.
assuming that people don't drink and smoke during the daytime or while they're at work
It's
during the
true.
daytime?
Wow.
Yeah, this is
While
Los
they're at
Angeles.
work.
Everyone's driving around faded out of their mind.
Oh man, that's probably true. That's probably true. Okay. All right. Well,
That's
next
my
time
new
then.
life. It's not
Everybody,
an IG handle.
his links are below. Check him out on OnlyFans, YouTube, Instagram, all that shit. Don't expose yourself before we go.
Well, okay.
You can show your tattoo. I just don't want to see anything else. Show your tattoo. Show it.
There you go now. Just banging the old drum now. They be buns of steel, so they are, you know? Me Celtic drumsticks got me all the way from Dublin, Ireland to these United States of America. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And yeah, if you like me here, you love me on OnlyFans. And I just wish you all a wonderful start to a weekend full of peaceful, prosperous, pleasurable things happening to you and yours. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a great one.
All right. Bye-bye. I'm going to close us out. No, somebody said in the stream, they said, why is Kurt scared? So it's not like mortal terror that I'm in at the moment or whenever Celtic Iron opens his mouth. But if you've seen our streams before or you've seen our videos before, you know that there are a multiplicity of ways in which things can very quickly devolve into something that would be very well. Here's the thing. Okay, so I'm not going to put this on YouTube, right? I'm going to put it on Patreon. But when you have, how do I want to put this? When people see you, rightly or wrongly, as like the spokesman or the spokesperson for Marilyn Manson's innocence, for example, like I actually do take that seriously. And so I have to walk a fine line between, on the one hand, like being how I want to be, which is like completely non-censoring, say whatever you want to say, you know, let's have a great time, even if we go over the line or someone goes over the line or whatever. Like that's like if you were in my house right now hanging out with me, you know, without cameras on, that's how I am. But because I know that people will so quickly misconstrue stuff intentionally or otherwise, right? And you have to think about, like, I mean, not to give anyone ideas, but like there are all kinds of ways that you could cut up stuff that's been said in this and make me look bad. And I accept the risk of that might happen by doing stuff like this. But at the same time, like, it is a fine line to walk. And so with a guest like, you know, like Celtic Iron, someone who's a good friend of mine, even though we've never met, but a good friend of mine, I've done a lot of shows with and continue to do a lot of shows with, because I think that he's really funny. And I think that we have a really good chemistry. And I think he's kind of a star in a way. Like, I think that he could be like a YouTube star. But he's also very rough around the edges, and he'd be the first to admit that. And so when I'm doing a live stream, it's one thing like when we do our videos and I can edit them how I want to edit them for my YouTube channel. But when you're doing a live stream and, you know, all kinds of things come out of people's mouths, then yeah, I do get a little, I don't know if it's scared, but a little bit sort of cautious, and like, you know, I know how people can misperceive this or misconstrue it. And that's just like a fine line to walk. And I don't know that I always do it, honestly, very well. And so like I've done, I've done, you know, streams or interviews or whatever with Celtic, and where people have been like, you know, don't be rude to him or don't interrupt him or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's just that I'm trying to watch out for us here. Right. So anyway, and then as far as Mini-Manson goes, like, yeah, I was terrified the whole time that was going on. That was mortal terror there. Oh man. And you might be like, why did you let him on? But because, like, you know, I respected, like I said, I respected that he hung in with me for in there with me for 20 hours in the last live stream just so we could get on. And so I was like, you know what? How bad could it be? Say he does something really offensive during the live stream. People talk about it, whatever, who cares, right? But I did have a talk with him beforehand, and I was like, no clothes can come off, first of all, right? You know, things like that. And so he stuck to that. I think for Mini-Manson, he contained himself as well as he could have. So anyway, I wanted to kind of wrap up here by talking about sort of more serious, you know, after this bonkers, crazy live stream, to kind of come in now and be serious. The hangover is setting in. No, I'm kidding. I actually haven't had anything to drink. But do you know when I did the Amber Heard parody video, one of the Amber Heard parody videos, where I was drinking, it was actually cranberry juice, but I guess it looked like wine. And anyway, I was at school. I was at the school that I would teach at from time to time. And so I was there, you know, filming this video, and it looked like a classroom. And then I had this cranberry juice, and I was pretending like I was drunk. But some people actually thought that I was really drinking and it was the morning time, that I was like really getting wasted at work. And so I had a few comments on that video, like, you know, I don't like it when YouTubers get drunk. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's interesting. I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not drunk. I'm pretending to be a drunk woman. I'm pretending I'm impersonating a drunk Amber Heard. And secondly, it's a tall glass of cranberry juice. So anyway, but anyway, though, to get a little bit serious, so where I am with the YouTube stuff is that I in no way am backing away from the Manson thing. And even though there's been some depressing stuff that's happened in terms of, you know, the settlement, and in terms of this new lawsuit, and also in terms of some, you know, like I said, some big interviews that I thought I was going to have on my channel that didn't materialize, or rather canceled at the last minute. And then a lot of stuff that's been going on in my life, not just the move, but I have talked about online about the fact that my mom is sick, and she's not like terminally ill or anything like that. Mom, if you're watching, I'm not putting you in an early grave. She'll get a laugh out of that. No, but I've talked about this a little bit on Twitter. She has lupus from breast augmentation. It's not a common side effect, but apparently there are indications that there are small subset of women who do develop autoimmune disorders. Basically, their body's kind of rejecting the implants. You know, just because they're saline implants doesn't mean, I mean, you know, they're totally safe or whatever all the time. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody from from getting breast implants, right? But I'm just saying, like, I think that hers did make her sick, and so we've been trying over this break to get something scheduled with her to go see a doctor in Austin who specializes in that. And so anyway, that's kind of been going on. And anyway, so it's not like I'm not stepping away from YouTube or whatever. I have not been as productive as I would have liked to have been the last 6 weeks or gosh, almost 2 months now, just because there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. But I'm ready to jump back into it. And I have been for the past few days actually researching this new lawsuit and looking into Bianca Elaine, and I am going to do, I'm working on it right now, a series actually of videos about the Manson stuff, like updates, but also a rebuttal video that uses her own past interviews to refute her allegations now. Because probably, as some of you know, she did a podcast. It's on someone's Patreon, but it's public. She did a podcast a couple of years ago, this accuser who's suing Manson now, in which she described a very different scenario. And she's described in multiple places, multiple interviews, different scenarios. There are contradictions in her stories and stuff, like major contradictions. And so, and then if you read the lawsuit, like I said, I finally read it yesterday in full. Like people had told me about it and I'd read parts of it or whatever, but I finally sat down and read the whole thing. And I'm just amazed at the lengths to which they're going to make these ridiculous arguments, and most of it based on his art. It's the same thing. It's his art, it's his image, and some of it a lot of it just so absurd. Like it feels like Pizzagate. So anyway, I'm going to talk about that in a video coming up soon. But unfortunately, a couple of months ago, I was just a lot more optimistic about things with the Manson stuff than I am now. I'm not that I'm not optimistic about the ultimate outcome or conclusion, but just that, I feel like it ebbs and flows. And I feel like the last couple of months have been, I'm not about to cry. I've just got, I'm just getting hoarse. But I feel like the last couple of months, it's definitely been a sort of surprising, is it ebb, I guess, in that there have been some hits that I feel like Manson has taken, even having to settle with Esme Bianco, and then this latest lawsuit, which even though this lawsuit is bogus, unfortunately, it started, as you know, some of you, it started a whole new round of stories. And so you see all these stories in the press. It's basically like 2 years ago all over again. And so this whole new round of stories. And then unfortunately now it's got this underage aspect, right? At least before with the Evan Rachel Wood and all the other ladies, right? They could say that they felt like babies, but they were really grown women. And now, y'all know, you throw the term underage, or even some people saying child, to describe teenagers, but you throw that into the mix. And even though it's not true, and even though she's lying, and all of that, it does have an effect, especially, on people who don't know better. And it's generated a whole new cycle of stories. And so I hate that for him. And as, and as someone who has been fighting this fight for 2 years now, and yeah, partly for myself, for my YouTube channel, but also because I believe in it. And right now it's not like it's the most, lucrative or profitable course. Again, not crying, just getting hoarse. Anyway, so I think it's been rough. And it was rough, to be honest with you. It was rough having those interviews. 2 of them in particular. I mean, I had three lined up that would have been huge, and one of them dropped out pretty early, and that's fine. But two of those interviews, right down to the wire, were going to be huge, and I was excited about it, and others were that I had told and everything. So, it's a lesson in life too, that you can't ever count on something, even though I had like steadfast assurances from these people, like to the degree where one of them even laughed at me for worrying that it might not happen. I was like, they asked me when I wanted to schedule this interview, and I said as soon as possible, so no one changes their mind. And they laughed and said, oh, no one's going to change their mind or whatever, right? And of course, like dead giveaway, of course they're going to change their mind at the last minute. So I'm trying to let go of that. It's just hard, just because it would have been a big deal. And it's been a kind of a weird dichotomy, or a weird juxtaposition of feelings, to have started December, to have started the holiday season, really feeling on top of the world. And I know I kind of over posted, I know, on Instagram and Twitter, because I was feeling so good about this stuff that I had coming up that was going to really make a difference, right? And also, I felt like there was some reasons for thinking there was some movement in the Gascon thing or whatever. And it turns out he's just sitting on that, and he's not going to the LADA. He's not going to clear Marilyn Manson anytime soon. Not because he has any reason to, but it's not politically expedient. And that woman that Celtic Iron was talking about, who was flipping off Celtic and Paula at the press conference today, that woman has the ear of George Gascon. I mean, she works with him on a survivor task force or stalking task force or whatever. I don't know. And so she's probably, she probably thinks that Manson was sending people to stalk her today. I'm sure that's what they think, because Celtic and Paula showed up at a public and publicly advertised gathering, a press conference where it's entirely appropriate for people to show up. And yet I'm sure that a number of the people there, a number of the attorneys and Manson haters and people, who gave them the finger, I'm sure they were like, oh my God, how dare Marilyn Manson send people here to stalk us, to retaliate. It's no such thing. So anyway, I guess where I'm going with all of that is just to say that it does kind of suck to have started off riding so high in December and feeling like, oh, we're about to see a break in the clouds, right? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Like, I would love to get to that point with this case. Not only because it would be good for me, yes, but because I really do think that what Manson is going through is horrible. And it actually, I kind of have come to respect the guy and his wife and what they've gone through. And I wish that they could get through it and get through it restored, like God restored Job in the Bible. But it was hard to see that that wasn't going to happen. And not only was that not going to happen, but there were going to be, people that would drop out who said that they wouldn't. And then suddenly I've wasted, all of these weeks prepping for stuff that didn't happen and, kind of pushing back other stuff. And then to have the settlement and then the settlement. So anyway, this is the last time I'm going to complain about it, because I've complained about it too much. This is the last time I'm going to complain, but that is what's been going on. That having been said, it's, what is it? The saying, it's always darkest before it's completely pitch black. No, that's the Mao Zedong version of it. Never mind. No, it's always darkest right before the dawn. I'd like to think that that's the case. Robert and the 3Ds. Is that a band? $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. So I am going to, I'm going to let everybody go. I want to actually read through the chat. And next time I'm going to have a moderator. Next time I'm going to have a moderator to handle this so that I can see more of the chats and read more of the chats. But I appreciate everybody being civil and being cool. And I don't think we had any horrible issues in the chat. I think everybody was reasonably nice and stuff. And I just want to say, this is not going to go on YouTube. I am going to put it on my Patreon for my patrons. And but I do want to say, I know it was kind of, at times it's kind of crazy or whatever. And I appreciate everyone's tolerance. Because here's the thing, if we don't have tolerance for people sometimes saying the wrong thing, or even saying offensive things, if we don't have tolerance for that sometimes, then it really just chills conversation completely. And so I do appreciate you all being cool with me having, sometimes some more kind of unorthodox or controversial or kind of rough around the edges guests, even if it does occasionally go off the rails. And yeah, I guess that's it. So everybody, thank you for all of the support and everything. And I'll try to have another one of these again really soon. And yeah, you can look forward to a new Manson video coming out soon as well. Other stuff I'm going to cover, but yeah, get into that some other time. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you.